Hey guys, this is Mark Consuelos, and you're listening to Recap Rewind.
What is up, everybody? This is Recap Rewind. I'm JLAG, and I'm here with
NBEA.
And this episode is recapping and reviewing Riverdale Season 2, Episode 19, and it's called Chapter 32, Prisoners.
Just before we start our recap, don't forget, stick around for our ending because we are going to go through our favorite moments, our MVPs, our LVPs, so be sure to stick around for that.
And always stick around for our announcements as well, because we always have something special going on and we always want to talk about you guys. Thanks again for connecting.
I have to say,
yesterday,
like Twitter,
you guys were blowing us up.
Twitter fam is always there for us, and like it gives me the biggest smile on my face that like everyone is so lit to talk to us and to give us their feedback.
And not even just that, you guys like keep it such a great positive space. No one's like, shut up, you BARCHIE fan. It's all just like love, and everyone just wants to talk about the show.
That's on Instagram. The shit talking is on Instagram.
So yeah, really appreciate you guys' comments. We always love just hearing about what you guys have to say about it, so we'll get to that as well.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's just talk about the episode.
So we haven't really like seen each other. So what did you think? I miss you.
I liked it. I liked the episode.
Yeah,
I thought there was
really
so much
it.
that happened. I was actually really excited for you to watch it because we watched it separately too. So like, I was excited to be like, I'm like, MB's gonna love this episode.
Toronto had a game 7 last night, so I'm sorry I had to put Riverdale on a pause for a minute.
Was it worth it though?
It was worth it, but we lost, so I guess it really wasn't worth it. But
anyway,
no, I really liked the episode. It was very intense. And I know from like the cast posting on Twitter, they were like, guys, it's really intense. Like, just brace yourselves. It was really intense.
You're like, I agree,
but there were a few things where I was like,
anyway,
did that have to be in there? But we can get to that after.
Yeah, we'll get through the entire episode as we normally do. So you guys just make sure you guys stick around for all of that, and make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and enjoy the podcast. Yay! Yeah. So we start off. If you guys were feeling some type of way about the Carrie musical last episode, don't worry,
because Cheryl's got you.
Cheryl still got you.
She's still singing.
She'd be like, Carrie. No, she's not. Be like
Except
Carrie.
It was like, Midge.
Yeah,
You're so
Carrie
dead.
After me. Yeah. Something like that.
So yeah, it's basically like Midge's funeral, and like all of a sudden we see like everyone's like friends with Midge. I was like, she's like the most extra person ever.
Literally,
but like everyone's turning up, like everyone's there.
Like, who's been friends with Midge this whole time?
Seriously,
Nobody,
we even get to see her mom.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically everyone's like cheesed and upset, whatever.
Is it really bad that we're laughing about this right now? No.
I mean, look, she wasn't that much of like a thing character to be like, I'm so sad, like I'm gonna miss her wig. Like, no, like we don't care. I was dying this morning because I saw on our IG somebody posted a photo and they were like, guys, did you know that Midge was wearing a wig? I didn't know.
I knew that Midge was wearing
girl,
a wig.
I knew that was a wig. Like,
I literally
from
called
time.
that from the beginning. Like
day that wasn't that surprising, guys.
I was like, guys, look at her wig. Like,
it's
that's what
literally sitting 5 inches from her scalp. Like, it's clearly a wig.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, so she has a bunch of friends. Cheryl's comes through with like the saddest vixen like cheerleader garb and like just sings a song, and she's like really,
it's like
really
the vixen uniform, but like instead of neon blue, it's like dark blue because it's like toned down.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think the biggest thing that we do see from that funeral scene though is right after it finishes, Sheriff Keller, who is like feeling all types of way finally about his like career, goes up to Midge's mom, and he's like, I'm so sorry, like I failed you. She's like, bitch, yeah, and she like slaps him. And I honestly, like, yes, I love Sheriff Keller, but like I felt so good in that moment because I was like, it's true, like you haven't been doing anything.
Yeah,
and this poor girl like died.
She's dead. She's not coming back from
and like it was such a like real reaction from a parent who like looks up to the police to be like, protect our freaking children in this town of like 100 people. Come on, you should be doing your job.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've been saying from time, Sheriff Keller is useless. But
I guess like this episode really like they were hard on him. They were bro, you're failing.
Like literally like 2 high school students have died under his like watch, kind of. So like it's not his fault technically, but everyone's gonna blame the sheriff for not like solving it. I mean, we've watched the billboards, like, hello.
Yeah, and exactly. And now that Mayor McCoy is like not the mayor anymore, his job is kind of, it's up for grabs.
Yeah, exactly. So he's kind of feeling some type of way. He's like, oh, I think I'm going to be out of job, whatever. Anyway, we'll get back to that, yeah. In between the funeral scene, there is a scene where there's like a really quick interrogation where he's trying to figure out like what happened at the musical. So it shows Jughead being interviewed, and he's like, yeah, I was recording this video. You have my video now. It was after all those letters that things got crazy. And then he's like, what letters? And then it cuts to Ethel. So does Ethel admit to the fact that she actually cut up those things and signed it as a Black Hood?
I don't know. I think maybe she did, because she was like, I did it as a thing. Like, I didn't mean to hurt anyone.
Right. Because like, I think she agreed to it, but like they don't delve into it deeper like in the episode. So I was like, okay, so it was her the entire time.
I think the point is like, we're past that at this point. So whether or not she wrote it, like, who cares? She was apologetic. So I'm thinking that like she did write it. Like, she was like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt anyone. Like, it just freaking happened and I'm crazy. So at this point, exactly. Let's just go with like, yeah, she did do it. Who, like, do you know what I mean?
Sure. It does. I mean, it's inconsequential now. I mean, exactly. Other than the fact that Ethel's like, that means that Ethel's like a touch cray, like she got jealous and she like
definitely
literally cut up like a vision, like she lied about it, like weird. She's weird.
I mean, I think she was crazy when she was like laughing when Chuck was burning in the hot tub. That's when I knew she was pretty crazy. I was like, this girl, she's got she's cray for sure.
So then it cuts to like Moose again too, and he was like, I don't know what happened. We just had a little
most
argument.
Useless boyfriend of all time. Let me just tell you right now. Most useless boyfriend.
Guys, he was my LVP last episode for this reason alone. Like, he just didn't do anything. And Archie comes in and he's like, yo, something's wrong. And like, he's on this like mad tip that like it's not like it's actually the Black Hood. Yeah. Because he has like really bad PTSD. So he's like, something's wrong, Mr. Svensson, like maybe there was a connection. And the sheriff is like adamant. He's like, no, like we got him, like you saw him, I killed him, it's done. And Archie's like, no.
Like, when a 16-year-old kid is questioning your theory, like maybe you should be like, hold up, like maybe he knows more than I do.
I mean, or maybe you don't, because he's a 16-year-old boy. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
but I don't know what you
do as I don't know what you do as the sheriff of a town. I've never been in that position, so I wouldn't know for sure.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Totally thought you had.
So anyway, yeah. Then it cuts back to the funeral scene. We just talked about it. He gets slapped, and then Cheryl basically threatens him, saying, "Listen, I'm gonna like rain hell all over you because like you just like done fucked up." So
so that definitely places Cheryl in this position where like she's hating on Sheriff Keller too.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and that comes back after too.
Right. So then it cuts to Pop's diner.
Right.
And Jughead is thinking that it might be a copycat killer. So it's all four of them sitting around the table again. Yeah. And Archie's
and he thinks it's Chick, right? Or does he say that after?
He says it later on. Or he says it during it, but then Betty's like, no.
It kind of, she shoots him down. Yeah,
she shoots him down.
Because like, it doesn't make sense for it to be Chick. Because like, what's his relation to Midge anyways? You know, like.
Yeah, and that's what she says. She's like, it doesn't make sense why he would do that. And then Archie just keeps bringing up this whole thing. He's like, but what if Mr. Svensson wasn't the killer? But what if Mr. Svensson wasn't the killer?
And literally everyone's like, no, Archie, no.
Like, literally everyone. Like, Veronica's like, you're crazy. Like, Betty's like, he tried to bury us. Like, it's obviously him. Like, everyone's shooting him down. And he's like glitching out because he's like, none of my friends believe me.
Yeah, and he keeps like backing it up. He's like, but what if he chopped off his own finger? Right. And then Veronica's like, really? No. Okay, Archie. She's like, no.
It's funny because he's basically saying everything that we've been questioning since it happened, right? For sure. Like, as fans, we've been like, yeah, but what if he cut off his...
He's the voice of us.
What if it was like the ransom? You know, like, it's funny that they like... Archie's become this person who's hyper paranoid as the rest of the Riverdale fans. Like, just like, it ain't him. So the last thing he does say is, I looked in his eyes and it wasn't like Mr. Svensson's eyes. So like, what the hell? Like,
so I definitely think there was a huge, and there always has been a huge focus on this person's eyes.
Yes.
And this is the only reason why I think it can't be a group of people and it might just be one guy. Do you know what I mean? Because they put so much stock into like this one man's eyes. Do you know what I mean? It's like, if it was a group, like,
I just don't know who it could be that we already know.
Let me tell you, it's Hal. I am so confident. I'm so confident.
Okay, we'll get to
those eyes, and that's what I mean. Like, when he was saying the eyes, I was like, it has Hal's eyes. Like, I feel like I see it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Hal's eyes. Yeah,
I get it, but like, I don't know. I just feel like it's there
has always been this focus on the eyes, so I feel like it's gonna be the biggest.
That's
like
fair.
Nod to who.
Anyway, we'll get to it because like there's like a whole conversation about that we need to talk about later. So anyway, cuts to so that whole thing happens, and then as they're leaving, Jughead says it again to Betty, like, I think that it's Chick. It must be Chick. And then Jughead's like, I don't know, like he just seems sketchy. And then Betty's like, no. So that's it. Then it cuts to Veronica and Archie at the Pembroke, and Veronica's basically warning Archie, like, I know that you're worried about everything happening.
She's basically like, don't do anything
don't go
anymore.
dark. Like don't, just like don't go dark, Archie.
Don't go vigilante. Don't be doing that shit.
Right.
Like just stay home with me and like whatever.
But then he's like glitching out because he's like, but if he's back, then that means like my dad, you, like anyone like who got away the first time around is gonna be like up for grabs. And she was like, just don't do anything. And then he's like, okay. But then he like hugs her and he's like, but I am.
Yeah.
So then cuts to the Cooper res, and the sheriff comes by to look for Chick, and Hal comes in, and he got this like tiny little goatee going on right now. Like, I don't know what's going on with his little goatee.
Yo,
but I was like,
sketch AF.
Sketchy little goatee.
Yeah, like, who grows a beard towards the end of the season? Like,
a villain.
Just sketch.
That's what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they do. They make him look more badass. So anyway, he pops off on the sheriff and says like, he's not living here anymore. Like, why are you bothering us? Like, he's not here. He's like a scoundrel or whatever. I don't think he says scoundrel, but like, he just like pops off, and the sheriff leaves. He's like, okay, sorry, I didn't know you guys like family, like,
jeez,
business.
I didn't know you hated him that much.
Yeah. And then that's what Betty says to him, like after he leaves, like, why are you so upset with Chick? He's like gone now. And then Hal's just like stamping his feet. I don't know, it was weird. Then it cuts to Archie walking home, and he sees someone like wearing a hood at the end of the street, like lurking in and out of the bushes. So then he walks forward and he was like, hello, and he can't find him. Then he keeps walking, and then the guy comes back out like when he's
closer
like, not
to the
facing
camera.
him.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to the Riverdale like logo. Then
what did you like? That's the black hood. Like, is that what you thought for sure?
No, I'm like, who the. My whole thing, like most of this episode, including the vandalism of Sheriff Keller's car, was why is everybody going off and doing these things like in broad ass daylight? Like everyone's bold AF right now in Riverdale, like doing some bad.
Well, because the sheriff is not gonna do anything about it anyways.
True.
Like, we could get away with anything.
That's so rude. So anyway, so then it cuts to Archie's the Andrew res, and Fred is like, good morning, you look like shit. And Archie's like, yeah, like I've just been like up, I'm not really sure what to do, like I'm really worried about you, like maybe you should go to Chicago to visit mom. And Fred's like, can you stop talking? We just made up last episode, like can you just not do this right now? like he's basically saying like, don't be stupid, like everybody's telling Archie to do. He's just like, don't be stupid, just chill, just calm down. And then here's the thing, I understand where Archie's coming from for the first time like ever, because he feels helpless. Like I feel like he was really severely
But he has
affected.
felt that way all season. He's felt helpless the entire time.
That's true, but
I just don't understand like why all of a sudden he's like getting so lit and no one else is really paying attention to him. Like, guys, this killer might be back on like the roads. Like, can you guys like pay attention to Archie and like listen to what he's saying? Like, because last time he almost like caught the killer. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's like, I don't get why they're ignoring him completely too. Like,
yeah,
he's
I
right.
feel like he should be like a detective or something. He should be the new sheriff. He should be the new sheriff.
100%. He needs to graduate high school.
Anyway, yeah, first things
like
first.
fast forward, yeah.
So then it cuts to the Pembroke, and Hermione and Hiram are just like scheming up a storm.
Hermione like cracked me up because she's like, and I hope you booked this because JLAG knows when I'm doing things I need color everywhere.
Yeah.
And so Hermione was like doing this like schedule, but she was just sticking like rainbow colored sticky notes, aka my favorite thing of all time. And she's just like posting on the thing. She goes, honey, I got it. Don't worry, I got this. I'm gonna walk around the neighborhood. I got this.
Yeah.
And Hiram's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
He's like, I know you got it. Don't worry. Those sticky notes are out. I was dead.
So anyway, yeah, she's like, I'm gonna go door to door and use this as an opportunity because like Hiram's like, with crisis comes opportunity.
And again, we're just seeing Hermione talk ish right now. She's not really doing anything, and I was like, okay, go do that though. Yeah, like you're just posting sticky notes. Yeah.
Exactly. And so then it turns to Hiram's like, oh, like Cheryl seemed like pretty shook about that thing. Like, could you like help us like connect with her? And then Veronica's like,
yeah.
y'all like keep me out of your psychotherapy situation right now.
Nefarious.
Like, nefarious.
What the F does nefarious mean?
I mean, it's like bad.
Like sketchy.
Like, I don't know. She had such an education. I don't know why. I need
that
to
New York private school got lit.
I feel very stupid.
No, but yeah. So they're basically like trying to like bring her in and be like, we need your help to get Cheryl. She's like, no, keep me out of it. I'm not a part. I don't want to be part of anything anymore. Bye.
So she dips, and they're like, why is she so upset? I'm like, because you guys are trying to do some weird-ish. Anyway, so then it cuts to the Cooper res, and Betty basically says like, what do we do about like Chick now?
Yeah.
And Alice is like, don't worry, I got you. We're gonna figure this out.
Betty's basically worried that like if Chick does get pulled by Sheriff Keller, he's gonna tell Sheriff Keller that like they killed someone in their kitchen. Right. Which is a pretty like, I understand why she's worried about that. Yeah. But Alice is very confident. She's like, don't worry, he won't say anything because like, or if he skips town, like he'll just look more guilty. So
So like
don't worry, like we got this.
But where was she going to go? She
looked like she was going to tell Chick like what to tell Sheriff Keller. Because at the end she was like, I'm gonna go like kind of teach him what to say. Right. But it doesn't really cut to that scene.
But it doesn't cut to that scene.
No, yeah. So she's just like leaving the house. Yeah.
So then it cuts to them at school, and Betty and Jughead is like, maybe there is a connection between Svensson and Chick because they both spent time at Quiet Mercy.
And it seems like, do you find that like every single like piece of the puzzle just leads back to this freaking nunnery?
Yes,
like, I feel like they're using it.
Why, like, yeah, we've talked about this so many times. Like,
and like again, it happens.
Scene, like the whole gay conversion thing, like. It's like this hub of like darkness, and you said it last time, like they do it because like they need a kind of place like that that's like this mysterious like dark place where everybody's like dark things happen. But
like it's just so many things. It's like an insane asylum. It's like a gay conversion place. It's like an adoption agency. Like it's like all these things. It's like so what do you like?
Yeah, exactly. It pisses me off. Anyway, I'll talk about that later too. So anyway, so they're gonna investigate. Betty's basically like, maybe we should look into it and see if there was an actual connection between the two of them. Then it cuts to Thistle House, and Hermione is like campaigning the F out, and she goes and knocks on Cheryl's door, and Cheryl opens the door. She's like, hey. And she basically like invites Hermione in and says like, I was really moved by your speech at the funeral. Yeah. And she says, it came from the core of my bosom. And I like giggled a little because she said bosom. And then she asks Cheryl to write an op-ed piece for the newspaper because they run it now, right? So she's like, yeah,
about Sheriff Keller, right?
Tearing down the sheriff.
Yeah.
And then she's like, got it, girl.
Yeah, she's like, don't worry, I got this.
And then it cuts to the Sisters of Quiet. Those are the things that I wish that like Riverdale as a not a company, but whatever, like a television show, they would like give us the fans those things like as a side thing,
that would have been so cute, like to release the article.
Here's the article. Yeah. Like I would have loved that. Guys, get on it. Anyway, so it cuts to the Sisters of Quiet Mercy, and Jughead and Betty are asking about the overlap between like Chick and Mr. Svensson.
Yeah, and the OG nun is like, yeah, like
she's
they
like,
were
good
here.
to see you again. She's like, but where's your court order? I'm not gonna tell you ish. And it was really weird, but like Betty's basically like, so Cheryl Blossom is my cousin. She's the one that you tried to convert, and I'm going to tell the police on you if you don't tell me right now.
It's like, bitch, like, where's your proof though? Like you don't even have proof.
And then like the nun just like glitches out and she's like, okay, I'm going to tell you literally everything. I'm going to
She's like, here's the file. Yeah.
Like it was stupid. But like that's the thing that like frustrated me about this whole thing is like, why haven't they shut them down anyway?
Exactly.
They just shut them down anyway. That's enough reason for them to shut them down in the first place. Like, why threaten to shut them down just so you can get information from them whenever you feel like? No, you guys can get them. It's stupid.
It's a very loose end like kind of set or storyline that they have for that nunnery place. Like it's very cheesy.
Like, I think it's really stupid. So anyway, like when are they gonna shut this place down?
Yeah.
Or burn it down like Cheryl style. So then she's like, okay, fine. And then she shows them the file. And then, whoa!
Ooh, shocker.
It isn't Chick. It's like some next kid who's actually Charles. And they're like, no. And so I wrote down, I I knew it.
Yeah.
we talked about the storyline from Time.
Yeah, we had said this like from Time, and I was like, I don't think Chick. I think there is a Chick, or like there is a Charles.
Yeah.
But like he's not that guy.
Yeah.
And they must have known each other.
And from Time, I mean like chapter 26 when we were theorizing this. So like 10 whole episodes ago, I even pulled that ish on our Twitter. I was like, see proof, we're smart.
Yeah. So really we find out that like, she has like a picture of this kid. He's like modeling in front of like the windowsill. And she's like, this is your brother. And she's like, she's like, oh, okay, like cool. So she takes the photo, I guess.
Okay, bye, thanks. So then she like freaks out a little bit, and then it cuts to Archie going to Mr. Svensson's house, and he's just like lurking through a window.
Yeah.
And then he sees someone in a black mask behind him. So then he like follows him to the back. The guy stands.
He's like, yo, why are you following me, bro?
He's like, what you doing over there? So then he turns, and his face is also covered. Like you don't know who it is. And then two people who also have their faces covered appear behind him, and then like beat the crap out of him.
They beat him up. So I'm like, okay, as soon as I saw those guys, I was like, okay, this can't be like the Black Hood.
And then it cuts to the Cooper Res, and Jughead and Betty are like,
Jughead was on fire.
He was like,
he was so hot.
And then it cuts to like freaking Chick just sitting in the place in the kitchen with Alice, and she's like, hey guys, what's going on? And Chick is always like, what's going on, guys?
Yeah. And Jughead's like, shut up, you betrayer. You're faking yourself. Yeah. I'm so angry.
So she's like, Betty's like, Mom, that's not your son, you're not my brother. And then he starts to glitch out, obviously. He grabs the knife.
I couldn't believe he did that.
So wretched.
And like, it was like a point where like they were kind of gaining on Chick.
Yeah.
And he looks down at the knife, and Alice looks at the knife. I'm like, oh my God, like he better not freaking like touch that knife.
Right.
He does, and she screams.
Because
like Alice saw it. She's like, no, he totally cuts her.
And then he tries to freaking
like cut. What the F?
He comes for freaking Jughead. He like tries to slice at Jughead too. I was like, yo, this guy is violent.
It went from like, I did not expect it to get to that like violent level. Yeah. I was like, yo, he is a psychopath still. Like, I don't care what we've been saying. Like, he pretty much is a psychopath.
Yeah, because at this point in
like,
time,
what are you doing? And then Betty,
like, if you are innocent, you're not really like doing a very good job at like pretending to be innocent. Like, I was like, yo, what's wrong with you?
Why do you gotta take it to that level?
Like, he must. I understand that he feels cornered. He feels like they're coming for him, but they're not gonna kill him. Like, they just want to talk and like understand what the hell's going on right now. So, for him to do that, I was like, yo.
It was very, and then
really
Betty,
cool
thank God, Betty, like, I don't know, she's just like a freaking superwoman. She like knocks. She knocks his arm, like she kind of like karate chops his arm, so it drops. Like, she's crazy too. She's like, hiya, and then like it, like the knife like falls, and then like I think Jughead like gets on him or something. Yeah, like they bring him down.
No, they like she hits him over the head.
With, like,
true. A rolling pin or something.
Yeah, I was like, no, my rolling
pin. So he gets knocked out. And then it cuts to the Pembroke, and Hiram and Hermione are like cheersing. They're just loving their life.
They're so excited.
Like, honestly,
I need to see these people like have fun together before, and you know what I mean by have fun, like, before this season ends. Like, this is ridiculous, guys. All you've been doing is playing chess and like cheersing each other.
I know, but it's a good thing. I think they're smiling now, so like I feel like it's warming up.
It's no longer smirks. It's like they've escalated to like smiling now,
and it's in like broad daylight. It's not
they're
like
showing teeth.
Yeah. Exactly. So then it cuts to Veronica being like, ugh, my boyfriend's calling me. You guys are disgusting. So like, will you just excuse me?
We're so rich.
It's so rich. It's disgusting. So she's like, excuse me, Boris and Natasha. I had to look this ish up because this is like way too.
Okay, so where is this from?
Because this is from Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Oh, okay.
And it's like two like characters, nefarious characters, should I say? And they're like pranksters and criminals or whatever on the show. So I was like Rocky and Bullwinkle is from the 1960s. Veronica, I don't understand why you're bringing this reference in. It was definitely like one of the writers being like, yo, I watched that show too.
They could have said like
literally
else,
anything.
Like Bonnie and Clyde or something.
Bonnie and Clyde could have worked. No, they're less evil. So then it cuts to, she's like, Archie, what's going on? And then he's like, hey, honey bunny, it's Nick St. Clair up in here.
She's like, Nick St. Psycho? Why are you calling from my boyfriend's phone?
That's literally what she said.
Yeah, that's literally what she said. And he's like, hey, babe. Like, why did he keep calling her babe? I was like, you're so extra.
He's freaking, yeah.
But honestly, he's really hot. I gotta say this, guys. I'm like, that actor's like really hot.
I was gonna wait for NB to say it because I'm like, I'm not saying this.
And like his beard was like out. I was like, damn, like Veronica, you should go to him. Like, he's really hot.
No,
like,
he's such a creep.
He's a creep, but like, you know, he's hot. I'm just saying, like.
So anyway, she's like, what do you want? Like, you better not do anything stupid because the last time, like, I busted up your leg. So just, like, be careful.
Yeah.
And he's like, I have, like, a permanent limp for the rest of my life. I was
like, he's like, I'll walk with a limp. I was like, is it like a joke?
Like, is it a joke or is he
it like a sexual joke or like,
I didn't understand. So he was like.
No, he's like literally like a limp.
I can limp. no, I can't limp. He does limp. I have the ability to limp. So he's like, you know what? If you want him back, I'm gonna ask you for $1 million.
He wants money. Yeah, he wants money.
And he got like really, really intense. He's like, I'm gonna actually kill your boyfriend.
Yeah, like okay. So this is what I mean. Like this storyline, like the Veronica and Nick St. Clair storyline, really, like I was shocked because I didn't understand where it came from. Like, why is it still here? Why are we still doing this with Nick St. Clair? And I feel like it got really dark.
Really dark, like, yeah.
Really dark, and I was not expecting it to get to that point.
Well,
and it caught me off guard, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. Like,
I think considering that like things are happening on the other side with the other two, like with Jughead and Betty, and that's like a really real situation too. They couldn't just be like, oh, like teen drama on the other side. They had to like really test them this episode.
I don't know if I agree with that because I totally understand that. Like I was like, they can't like juxtapose her storyline with like nothing happening.
Like her going
but
to
why
prom or
not though? But why not? Like that's just her storyline for this episode. Like she's not doing it much.
I think at the same time though, we have to also understand that there is a larger picture with this whole mafioso
it's
darkness
true.
with like Hiram, because like we hear about it and like the Papa Poutine was like kind of funny, but like now it's like affecting the kids. Like Nick St. Clair is like a part of the storyline.
Yeah.
So like it really like brings Veronica and Archie like right into the world instead of like being like these outside people where like Archie's like, don't hurt anybody, I'm gonna hurt you too. Like he's actually like getting attacked by like mobsters now. So anyway, Nick St. Clair is like, okay, well you need to bring me money. And so it cuts to Hiram saying like, I'm not gonna give nobody like some kid ransom money. And Veronica's
so after all this ish that Hiram's been planning, now you don't want to get involved in the teen drama. Like you've been involved in it all season, and now you're like, no, I can't get involved though. Like that's Archie, I can't.
It's not even just Archie. Well, in front of Veronica's face, he says like, it's a kid. Like it's gonna make us look weak if like that happens. And then Veronica's like, I'm gonna call the cops then. And then Hermione's like, no, they are a family, a part of the underworld.
She's like, wink, wink. Says, do you know what that means?
And then Hiram's like, yeah, they're mobsters. Like they're full on mobsters. Like you couldn't just say that. And she's like, I thought they were like actors. And she's like, no, they're like actually like full out mobsters. So we can't do anything because like they're like a high family or whatever. And then Veronica's like, you know what? F this, I'm leaving. And
seriously.
And then Hermione like turns to Hiram and she was like, but what's wrong? Like, why don't you want to like help him out? And then Hiram like basically like looks straight at him and says like, he ain't my son though. Like, sorry about it, but like he's not my son. He's like, if something happens and we do this now, they can come after Veronica, and we don't want.
Which I didn't understand. Like, why? Like, why would that lead to them coming after Veronica?
Well, they were saying if we pay this guy, then it sets a precedent, and then like they'll try to come after Veronica next. Like, we're just gonna look weak.
Yeah, that's true.
Because we're just paying people off for like ransoms and stuff. And like Hermione was like, true. So then it cuts to Cheryl and Kevin at school.
You make her sound so.
she got there. So then it cuts to Cheryl and Kevin at school, and he gets like really pissed at Cheryl. He's like, retract the statement that you put in the newspaper. I'm really, really pissed off at you right now.
He was pissed.
And
she didn't give a shit.
And Cheryl's like, nah, like he actually should step down. He's actually useless. Like, no shade against your dad, but he's a fucking loser. And like, we need to actually replace him because he like done effed up.
Because he's a shitty like sheriff.
Yeah. Like,
sorry about it, Kevin.
Like, it shouldn't matter like whether or not he's your dad. You should be aware of the fact that he ain't a good sheriff though. He's he's spending more time effing like the old mayor than like actually doing his job. So like sit down. But the question that I have is, at this point, like, what would the actual replacement of the sheriff be? You know what I mean? Like, even when we were thinking that he was the Black Hood, who would replace Sheriff Keller? Like Sheriff Hopper from Stranger Things? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, who would they switch out with?
It's true. You're right, because we don't even know any other like cops in town.
He's literally the only one.
He's literally the only cop in town. Like, he's like, not, but like we don't know
even have
the other
partner.
ones.
Like, nobody.
So I feel like whoever does replace him is gonna be one of the main characters.
Or he's not going to be replaced because he's not the killer, and he's going to redeem himself by the end of the season.
Hopefully,
like,
yeah, hopefully that happens.
Like, I feel like that is going to be the storyline, and I just predicted it, guys. Just mark this for chapter 32. Done. So then it cuts to the Cooper res, and Chick is downstairs tied up, and he's like, he wakes up because he was knocked out, and he's like, mommy, what's going on? I'm like so scared. Can you untie me? I'm scared. And everyone's like, you're not Charles. Who the fuck are you? Like, what's going on? And so he kind of like flips right away. And he was like, I never said I was Charles. I told you I was Chick when you came and walked in. Yeah. And so like he's flipping it all around now, and he's like, he's a sly talker, like he's a good actor. Yeah. Like he knows how
and
to,
he
like,
admits to knowing him people. Like he's like, I did know him, like we were like neighbors or whatever.
He's like, we met on the streets. Mm-hmm. He told me about your life, like his life with this, like, the Cooper res, and like how they like gave him up for adoption, and he knocked on your door one day, and you practically slammed the door in his face.
Yeah.
He came home that day and he was so cheese that he OD'd on Jingle Jangle.
Okay, let me just pause right here.
Pals.
First of all, that story was heartbreaking. I was like gonna cry. Yeah. I was so sad for Alice. Devastated. But when he said the words Jingle Jangle, I was like, guys, you cannot put that word in a sentence or in a story like this, like serious. Like, it sounds ridiculous to me.
You know what? To that
point,
and
it pulled me out of that whole moment. I was like, oh God, Jingle Jangle. Like, couldn't you just use like heroin or something? Like,
that's a good point. But at the same time, I think it does make me feel a little less like bad about it. Like, this is a comic book show. I don't want to feel really bad about someone ODing on drugs.
Like, just the words Jingle Jangle in that moment took it out for me. I was like, oh, okay, so this is what it is.
But he's still dead, so that's like still pretty dark. And
it's pretty.
Alice loses her mind. Yeah. So she runs upstairs and she's freaking out. And Betty follows her, and she was like, I killed my son, Betty. I don't know what to do. I remember him coming to the door. I remember slamming the door in his face. I'm the one that killed him. It's my fault. And she's like, glitch. I get chills thinking about it, because I was like, I felt so bad for her, because I'm like, can you imagine? Oh my God. Like, can you actually imagine your son, who you wanted, like, comes to the door, wants your help, and then you slam the door in his face, and then you find out that that's the reason why you killed him, like he killed himself. Like, holy.
I mean, look, at the same time, you don't know that this is all true. Like, I know as a mom, she's probably like glitching the F out because like it's just hitting her. Yeah. But like, she also can't believe everything this psychopath is saying to her either. Do you know?
Exactly.
She's like jumping 10 steps, and I get it. Like, you're like in the moment, but I feel like about everything.
Jump to those conclusions because she remembered it right away. So she was like, she like made the connection right away.
She made the connection,
and she was like, I done killed him. So,
and then in the middle of like her panic, she's like, I gotta go.
She's like, I'm leaving. Bye.
She's like, I'm leaving. And Betty's like, what do you mean you're leaving? Like, where are you going? Like, your like face is all red and like you can't even see. Like, what? And then she's like, just stay with Chick. Like, just make sure your dad doesn't come home. Yeah. Because at this point, like, Hal's living at home, and like he's gonna come home and see this kid like tied up to a chair. Like, what's going on?
Alice doesn't give her any answers and just walks.
No, she just literally walks out the door. I'm like, girl, what?
The door. She just walks away. Betty's like, can you at least close the door? Then it cuts to the warehouse, and Archie's with Nick, and they have like a little quick conversation. He's like, you're doing this because I punched you in the face. And he's like, no. This is like because of everything. Like, you guys embarrass the crap out of me. My family is like so close to disowning me because they think that I'm not like responsible enough. You're not, number one. You're like a creep, and that's the reason why you got in trouble. But anyway, side note. But he's like, I'm gonna get my revenge on you, and he starts to punch Archie. Yeah. Then it cuts to Veronica, and she goes to the safe, and she's like, it's always my birthday, like the locker combination, but it's not enough money that's in there.
Yeah, there's no cash flow. So in that moment, what does she do?
She calls him anyway, and she was like, I have your money.
Yeah.
And she stuffs in a bag, and he's like, meet me at Pop's Diner. So then it cuts to the Keller household, and he's like sad. He's like taking down his stuff. He's like, you know what? I think I'm fucked. I'm gonna,
yeah.
take
Mans was like giving up on life.
He's giving up on life, but he still looked hot while he was doing it. And then Kevin is like, you know, it's not your fault. Like, don't feel so bad about it, but like legit, like.
He's like, yo, it is my fault. Like, I'm the and it is his fault in a sense. Like,
it totally is his fault.
He should have done a better job of capturing like who this person was, or like just tracking all this ish down. Like, yeah, like, you haven't done your job.
Like, if you really wanted to like do your job, you were in the back already, like checking things out before the show.
Yeah, like what were you doing back there?
You're like, oh, I'm just gonna sit here and like watch the show from like an audience view. Like, get out of here. Yeah. So. Anyway, whatever. I'm not going to talk about this right now. But they hear like a smash outside their place, and then they go outside and someone smashed the window of the cop car. Yeah. And they write like Sheriff Killer on it. And they're like, oh man. And that's when I wrote down, damn, people are losing it in Riverdale, like in literal broad daylight. Like they're just like going off and like doing crazy things.
People are upset.
Like, but that's the thing. Like, I also wrote down at this point, the Black Hood should be killing people. Like, they're being so bad. Like, what is wrong with everyone? Like, maybe the Black Hood needs to come through to like actually do something about this. It's ridiculous. Then it cuts to Pop's Diner, and Veronica's waiting for Nick Sinclair.
For Nick, yeah. And she comes, and then like they're like, okay, like here's the bag of money. I got the cash money. Yeah. But as soon as she hands over like the cash, he feels the bag and he's like, this is definitely not like as much as I wanted. Like, what the F? Like, where's the rest of it? And at this point I was like, what is she gonna like where is she gonna get the money from? Like, what money does she have to even like give him?
Yeah, she's screwed.
And then he's like, what are you gonna give me?
And she's like, maybe you can give me something else then.
And then I was like, oh hell no.
Oh hell yes.
Like, what the F? I can't believe it went there.
I mean, I'm not surprised that it did go there, because I just feel like.
So basically he's like, I want to like sleep with you, and like if I do, like then that'll be enough of the money. Yeah. So when he tells her like, I'm gonna like sleep with you for like the rest of the money, what does she really do? Like, she was kind of like,
so she's like,
she doesn't say no right away.
Like,
yeah.
How do I know you're gonna bring him? Yeah. Like, bring him along, and he's like, you're just gonna have to trust me. Yeah. But like, let's do it. Like, we start in New York. I'm gonna get my hotel. We're gonna like come through, and then she agrees, right? Like reluctantly, she agrees. Mm-hmm. Then it cuts to Alice, and she goes to see FP.
Of course.
Oh my God, what a moment.
Storm off like that.
Jesus
this was insane,
Christ.
man.
So,
I was feeling so many ways during this moment. Like,
so lay it down for us.
So she comes through, she knocks on the door, like she's banging on the door, and he's like, what? Crying. Like, what's happening? She comes in, he looks at her. Secret. Yeah. I'm like, bitch, you're gonna tell him like this? This can't be the way you tell him. Like, come on. That you're gonna,
yeah.
And so she's basically like, I had a kid. It was your kid in high school. Do you remember?
Like, I had your baby.
He's like,
I had your baby. I killed our son.
And then like in one breath, she's like, I had your baby. I gave him up for adoption. He overdosed. He's dead now. And he's like, what? She's like, don't you remember? Don't you remember in high school? He's like, yeah, I remember us having sex. But like, what the F? Like he was so like. He was so like, he almost looked angry a little, because like I think he was just like, bitch, what are you saying right now?
Exactly.
Like, why are you laying this all on me right now?
And like, you're
and
telling
I felt
me
the same way. I was
like
you just killed this man. Like, you just told him you had a kid,
and now
the kid's dead. Cool.
And like, you done like lied to him for the last 25 years. Like,
and
what the
also
hell?
I think it's like, I think as the audience in that moment, we're kind of getting like slapped in the face, because we had been suspecting that like the kid must have been like FP's kid too.
Right.
But like, this is also us realizing that there's a confirmation of that. So
yeah,
like,
exactly.
I'm like, yo, it's actually his kid. / like, but he's dead. And FP's finding out. It was just like way too many emotions, way too many like bomb drops in like 30 seconds. But like, and like, she's hysterical. Like, she's losing it.
The frustrating thing is like, just a couple episodes ago, like that was questioned. They were like, is Chick like maybe your guys is like, I think it was Betty who asked.
Yeah,
Alice,
she did.
And Alice was like, nope. Yeah. She says it so fast.
She was so adamant. She was like, no, that's not his kid.
Like, she said it so fast that even we believed it. Like, as like recappers, we were like,
so just to like
the situation.
Hear it like in this episode, and she's kind of just like blurting it out.
Right.
Like I don't know.
Why was this such a dark secret for her to have to hold?
I
like,
know.
Is FP like that bad of a guy that you couldn't
That's
tell
what
him?
I'm saying. Like
you done
all
him
these
just
years
the
you
other
didn't.
day.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand your guys' relationship at all. Like, what the hell? So it just didn't make any sense to me.
And I think just kind of talking back about Phallus too, like, and I've said this before, I feel like I love their relationship. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm so Phallus, but like,
Phallus.
I feel like there's gaps of scenes that are missing in their moment, in their like timeline. Like, I feel like as the writers, they have to add more scenes where it builds the tension or like it adds context to their relationship. Right. Because her just storming in after like we just saw them like kind of, we didn't even see them hook up. We didn't even see that. So it's just like they're jumping these moments, and I'm like, okay, but you're not giving me those filler moments for me to like really feel that connection.
Exactly.
And now it's just her like telling him basically everything that we've been thinking of the whole season in 30 seconds.
Not even 20.
And I just felt like it happened so fast.
Yeah,
it was overshadowed by the fact that this kid is dead now too. Like he's like, okay, and what? Like, and now so now my kid's dead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was just really intense. It was a really intense scene, really well acted. But it was just like a lot for everyone, including the audience, to take in, because I was like, there's our confirmation, but also like I'm feeling just like FP right now, like totally overwhelmed. So anyway, he hugs her and she's like losing her mind still. Does she leave? Does she like?
I think it ends like that. I think it ends like
I can't. And then she like she like.
I think it ends like when he's hugging her.
He's hugging her. Then it cuts to, oh god, this moment too. I was like, damn, like one right after the other. Betty gets a phone call and it's like lollipop. Yeah. So my thing was, did she use that as like his custom ringtone?
Yeah, she did from time.
She like set it as like as the lollipop. Black Hood's like custom ringtone.
She saved his number in her phone and then put like a special ringtone to it.
So he calls her and she like already knows who it is. She picks up the phone and he's like, hello Betty, did you miss me? He doesn't have an accent. I didn't do that right. But he basically like talks to her and she's starting to cry and he's like, you've been making amateur mistakes. And I kept writing down. Let me just tell you. It's Hal.
The way he's talking to her, like, and she was writing things down too, like on the fridge, like the magnet board. Yeah. Because he was saying certain like terms, and she was noting it down. But even the way he's speaking to her, like he's kind of like teaching her, or like it's a very like fatherly conversation. It sounded like you're not doing this right. You should do this way next time.
Like, good job,
like,
you learned this from me.
Yeah. It's Hal. It's Hal. It's so Hal.
So he basically calls out that Chick has done bad things before he did the murder in the house. So he's aware of the house murder. Right. So who else knows about the house murder? You have to like think about that. And then he talks about the den of sinners. He was like, this is where he like lived and he's murdered someone before that. Then at that moment, she's like writing all these notes down on the wall, like on like a notepad. Yeah. And in that moment, Jughead comes in behind her and then she hangs up and she's like crying. Yeah. So she has like wipe her tears. Yeah. And he was like, was that your mom? And she says, no, it was my dad. And then I wrote down, yeah, it is your dad.
I didn't even notice that. Yeah. That's sick. Oh my God. So she technically wasn't lying.
So she technically wasn't lying if it actually turns out to be Hal.
Oh my God, that's crazy. I didn't even book that.
Right? I was like, and anyway, we guys.
Wow.
If you guys haven't checked out our top 5 suspect video on who the Black Hood could be, make sure you check it out on our YouTube channel, because I think we were kind of spot on a lot of things. And even though we did it earlier on in the season, there's a few things that still make a lot more sense.
Our number one suspects were always Sheriff Keller and Hal Cooper. Like 100%, like those guys were our top like tier suspects. For sure. So it ends up being Hal, you know.
We shall see. Or Hal's twin. Oh my God.
Oh, please no.
Like, we'll see. Anyway, so the thing that I wrote down here too is, why are they lying to each other again? Why is Betty?
Yeah,
why
that's
do you think
my question. I was going to ask you too. I'm like,
Jughead?
why is she lying to him at this point? Like, what's the advantage of not telling him? Like, just say like, he called me again.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's because I feel like Dark Betty needs to like take these things into her own hands. Maybe she feels that like the Black Hood and her have a very different relationship that she doesn't want to explain. Like, it's weird because he knows about the murder in the house, so it can't be like, I'm trying to keep a secret from you about the murder that happened.
Like, at this point, he knows pretty much everything. He's in on it. So like, just tell him everything.
Like, guys, like Betty's like effing up BUGHEAD, so like it's her fault.
Okay, and then where does it cut to?
So then anyway, so right before that, she's like, we need to go back to where I found Chick, like the den of sinners. Yeah. I don't think that he's telling the truth about like what happened to my brother. Then it cuts to the warehouse, and Archie and Nick are like, hey, we're gonna watch a porno. And Archie's like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yo, he was like, I'm gonna have a live stream right now. Yeah. Like, I'm gonna YouTube live stream me screwing your girlfriend.
Right.
And Archie's like, what?
Let me set up this Lenovo laptop.
Like, first of all, how is he getting Wi-Fi? He's in a freaking warehouse. Like, where are you getting that link up? Like,
he's rich. He probably has like
true.
Like data roaming.
This whole scene felt so extra too, like him having this warehouse and like holding Archie in this warehouse with like his goons, like it was like so over the top. Yeah, it was like his friends. Yeah, I was like, it didn't need to get to this level because like it feels even more cheesy now. Like
cheesy. So he does say, you know, he's like, I'm gonna kill you like once I get out of this whole situation. And he says, that's why I feel like I need to kill you, like I need to make my bones properly. I guess that's like a saying or whatever in the gangster world.
Yeah, I didn't understand that whole bone talk. Like it was like,
I think it's a thing like where it's like it shows that like you actually are like legit or something.
Oh, like you're hard, like
yeah, exactly. So he's like, I need to actually kill you, so this can only end one way. And Archie's like, okay, cool. And he gives him a little kiss on the cheek and leaves. He doesn't do that. Then it cuts to Jughead and Betty, and they go to a den of sinners, and they like get a room, and they knock on like all the doors, and then they knock on like the neighbor's door because like the other one was like occupado, and it's like an abuelita that answers. She's like, hey girls, and they ask her about the picture, so she like brings the picture. She's like, do you remember this boy? He's like, she's like, oh my God, I totally remember him. And then she was like,
felt so cheesy.
R.I.P.
This felt like in those video games where like you have to like talk to people like, and they like give you an answer.
Yeah.
She's like, yes, there were 2 of them, and now only 1 left. He is evil. I'm like, okay, sick. Thanks for telling us like the entire story. Like it was just so like perfect. I hate this. I hate when they do this. Like,
but I mean, like we get answers. So
but do you believe her? Like who is she? Like is she even telling the truth?
Character.
Like
so my question. So yeah, a lot of people, we'll talk about it at the end of the episode too, but a lot of people were asking, is Charles actually dead? For me, I think that confirmed that he's actually dead. Like he died.
I don't know. I don't know if it's like. You've built up this character all freaking season. Now you just told FP that he did have a son. Yeah. And now you're just going to let him be dead? Yeah. I don't know if that's really like... I don't know. I kind of feel like it's waste to do that, in my opinion. But
how he
I don't know who to believe.
Real, like, is the question.
So you think he's dead for sure?
I definitely think he's dead. At this point in time, the question that I'm asking is, why are we going to introduce a 30-year-old character into the show? Like he doesn't unless he is the Black Hood. Like I wouldn't be surprised if that was the situation. We never thought about the fact that Charles might be the one who's the Black Hood.
I mean, look, it could possibly be that because Polly's still not in the picture. So like she has like that second kid now, do you know? Right. But like, then it's like, what happened to Chick?
Like he was, yeah, exactly. And we know that he was signed on for the rest of the season.
I'm not convinced by it. Like, I don't know.
I feel like maybe if Charles does come back, he's not going to come back as like a part of the Cooper family. Like there has to be something wrong with him. But I feel like we got that whole storyline with Chick already. Yeah, to have to go through that again with the real Charles, it'll be like, ugh, this is so soap opera. You know what I mean? Like now we have to deal with the other person and it's the next person. Like it's just a touch far removed from a twin storyline, which I know you hate. So let's not go there, girlfriend.
Yeah.
So she does give us some information. This like woman, she says like they fought all the time, and one time I saw like blood on a bunch of sheets, and like while I was like cleaning my stuff, like I don't know what that was, and the next thing you know, like there was only like one of them left. It was like the bad one. But the question that I wrote down was, were they gay together? Do you think that they had like a gay relationship? This is a side note, but it might humanize Chick a little bit. So it's not just like they were like druggy friends. They were like actually like partners and lovers, and like something happened. Like I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah, it could be. Who knows?
Because we're still not confirmed as to whether or not Chick is a homosexual.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
That's true.
Like it would be
Good
interesting
point.
to see if that was like that was a deeper layer, like Chick was like his boyfriend. Then it cuts to the Cooperez, and they come right in and they're like, "We know you murdered my brother. Tell us the truth." So Betty's like interrogating him, and Jughead is like the muscle, so he's beating the crap out of him at the same time. And Chick is not biting. He's like, "Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. You'll never know." But like the question that I have is like, why did Chick go, like if that is the truth, like if he is the one that killed him and like he is dead, why did Chick go through all of this trouble to like connect with the family and like pretend to be the son and like this and this? And I guess we'll either never get that answer because the Black Hood done killed him, or like he's gonna tell us later, like like he's gonna come back. Who knows? Like I just don't know why he did what he was doing. Unless, like, I mean, he's crazy.
I don't know.
We don't know. We'll see. So then it cuts to Veronica getting ready. She's like putting on like her lip gloss that's popping, and then it cuts.
So
back.
here's my thing, right? I'm like, Veronica, like, what are you doing right now? Like, you're gonna go sleep with this guy who's not even your boyfriend. Right. Why are you dressing up like that? Like, why did she have to she did her hair. She's wearing some like next level dress.
She had to give him the fantasy.
No, just go like in sweatpants and get this itch done. Like, put your Uggs on and go and do him and finish the job. Like, what are you doing? I feel like
he probably would want her to like get all sexy for him.
That.
Like,
he ain't your boyfriend. What are you doing?
Not that I've ever been in a situation like this.
Putting on her lipstick like slowly. I'm like, girl, just go do it right now. Like, go.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Anyway, so then she's getting ready. Then it cuts back to the Cooperez, and Betty once again gets a phone call from the Black Hood, and he's like, some sinners only confess with certain death. Like you have to like actually like when they're scared of dying, they'll tell you what it is. Yeah, because she's like, he's not telling me anything. Yeah, and so then he says, "Deliver him to me." And Betty's like, no. Good point. So it's not the first time that she's done this. So like I wasn't surprised, but at the same time, she doesn't answer that at that point in time, because FP comes in and he's like, "Where's Jughead?" Jughead's downstairs beating the crap out of Chick, and FP like pulls him away, and they have like a father to son moment outside of like the Cooper house.
Because Jughead's like, "What are you doing? Like, we have to help them. Like, they're all alone." He's like, "No, F that. Like, let them deal with what they have to deal with, and then we can help them like after." He's like, "But I'm not getting involved. Like, I killed a kid last year. I always forget. About that. Like,
I was involved in this.
I always forget that he killed Jason. Or like was involved in the murder. And then he's like, "So I don't want to get involved again." And he's like, "Let's just go home." Like, I kind of felt like it was a little ridiculous on FP's part. Like, your woman needs your help. This like little girl like needs your help too. Like, Jughead needs to help her. Like, why are you just like dipping from life? Like,
I think that's
they need your help.
I think that's the way FP like functions, and I kind of respected him completely about it, because like it's true. He's like, it's not your house. We can't make those decisions. We can't beat a kid up, but we'll help after.
But at least stay there and like protect them. Like, you don't have to beat them up, but like just be there at least.
But I don't think like he thinks that they're in danger. He just like wants them to figure out this whole situation by themselves without them like feeling intimidated. So then it cuts to Alice and Betty, and she was like, "What are we gonna do, Mom?" And Alice says, "I need to come clean. Like I came clean with FP. I need to tell your dad about this too." Yeah. And so then it cuts to Veronica and Nick, and it shows Archie like watching through his laptop, that like she's getting things ready.
Yeah, he's watching the live stream.
Yeah, so she pours him the drink, and he like just starts talking about Archie. He's like, "Archie honestly is like so beneath you." So here's the thing. I kind of wanted to be worried for Veronica more. Like I wasn't at this point. I was invested. I was like, okay, if you're gonna go this dark like and this intense, take me there. Then like go to the point where like I'm legit scared for this girl. Yeah. And as soon as she started pouring their drinks, I wasn't scared anymore. I was like, okay, she's got this. She's gonna drug him. Like she knows what she's doing. So right after that, like I wasn't scared at all, and that kind of takes it away a little bit, because you're waiting for that moment, right? Because I'm 100%. Like, I want to get scared for her, and then I'm like, oh no, she's got this. She's good. Yeah. So as this is happening, like Archie's glitching out so hard. He's like, my boyfriend instincts are kicking in. So he like rips out of his chair.
I was like, boy, why didn't you just like 10 hours ago? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. So in the moment, like the two goons who literally their only job is to actually watch the one person in a warehouse, they're like warming up their hands in like a corner. Yeah. And so Archie uses this opportunity to like break the chair, fall
Archie
backwards,
literally
and
kicks
run.
his way out of the chair. Like he's so angry. He like kicks the laptop by Lenovo.
Poked out.
And then like he like the things like untie from his hands magically or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like
and
or like he gets the keys from
right.
the guy or something.
He gets away and he's like running now.
It was super
he's
cheese.
like on his way to like wherever they are. And then Nick and Veronica, like they're dancing and he's like, whatever happened to us? And she was like, well, you start to roofie girls, so that's what happened.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, that's true.
Like, I don't understand why this guy actually thinks that she would be like down for this in the first place.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
Guys are delusional sometimes. Like people
He's
are just
psycho.
delusional. Like,
but he's actually psycho. Like
he's
like,
psycho.
You'd think that like he'd be like, okay, let me just like do something to you right now. Like, why dance with her? Why drink wine with her? Like, why do this whole like situation? Like, just get it in.
I have to say though, I have to say they look good together. That's all I'm gonna say about that. They do look good together, but he's evil. Yeah. And I'm curious. I really want to know like what they're gonna do with his character. Like, are they gonna make him, are they going to keep him evil and then he's going to die? Like, or are they going to change his character and they're going to keep him on longer? But I don't know. I'm kind of bored of his character. I'm like, you're a waistband. Like, just go. Yeah.
I mean, he did get a nice tan, but I'm over it.
No, he's hot. Yeah.
So then it cuts to Cooper Res and Alice and Betty and Hal are just like talking. And Hal is like, well, why don't we just take this guy to jail then? Like he's under, like why is he like tied up in our basement? Yeah. And Alice has to tell him the whole story and say like, well, I killed someone with him in the house. And she's like, Betty, go to your room now. She's not involved in the situation. So she goes, but instead of going to her room, she goes downstairs.
And if you notice in that moment, like he asks about Betty. He's like, what about Betty? Yeah. And Alice is like, no, she wasn't involved. She didn't do anything. Right. Like he always asks about her too. Like what's her involvement? Yeah. Is she an innocent? Like, did she kill him too?
Like the Black Hood needs to know that story.
Yeah. But like, so she doesn't go to her room. She goes to the basement.
Right.
To get Chick.
And she's holding a gun. So she pulls a gun out of her purse and she holds it to his face and she's like, we're going to leave.
He's like, where'd you get that gun from? She's like, a teacher that like was like you.
Like a pervert like you.
I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh, Grunts. R.I.P. Grunts. So I can't believe she stole her gun. I totally forgot.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I can't believe this is coming all the way back from Grundy's car.
So anyway, she's like, we're gonna leave this basement right now through the basement window and I'm gonna take you somewhere. And he's like, okay. Then it cuts to Archie and he gets there. He's like, he's been running from time.
He's been running.
And so he turns a corner, he gets there, he tries to break the door down and he literally breaks the door down. Yeah, is this guy like Mario? Like what's happening right now? Like, he literally broke a door down. Between him and Jughead, they're just smashing doors as if it's that easy to break into a house. Yeah. So he breaks the door down and Nick is like passed out on the floor. And Veronica's like, Archie, what you doing here? Oh my God, your face. She doesn't have a British accent. No. But like, whatever. Just run with it.
Where does that come from?
I don't know.
She's like, Archie, your face? Oh my God, I'm so rich. It's disgusting.
And she's like, I smuggled the drugs in the necklaces you gave me.
Yeah. She was so happy I'm like, oh, that's smart.
It was so smart. It's very cruel intentions of her.
Yes. Oh my God. This whole storyline was so cruel intentions, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So then he's like, about that. What are we going to do with this piece of shit? And then she's like, I have an idea. So then she calls the dad and she was like, hey, how much money would it cost for you to like get your son back? I'm like, what kind of threats is this?
Like, bitch, where did this come from? Like, you almost just got raped basically, and now you're like flipping the tables. You're like, no, I want money now.
But
I want
$1 million. Turn it around and say like I'm gonna. What would you do?
So nuts.
Like, what are you gonna do if like you don't like this son? The dad
you're
already
kill
hates
him.
They're not gonna kill him.
True.
Like, there's no collateral here. You know what I mean? Like, there's no reason that they're gonna think that Veronica's actually gonna kill him. Like, I don't get it. So anyway, so she's like, how much is it worth to you? That was a big plot hole though. And then it cuts to Chick and Betty in a graveyard, and she asks him point blank, "Did you kill my brother?" Yeah. And then he says, "We got into a fight. I didn't mean for it to happen. I lost control." And then, so basically he's admitting and saying this story, which is once again why I think that Charles is actually dead. And then he turns and it's the Black Hood in the background. Yeah. And he's like, who dat? And then Betty's like, it's your very own angel of death, the Black Hood. And then he's like, then we should run. And she's like, no, you should run.
I love this scene. Yeah.
It was so intense.
She's like, you have like an 80% chance of like running from him.
Now you have,
and then like
70,
Chick's not
60.
moving, but like the Black Hood's coming closer. She's like,
Yeah.
now it's 70, now it's 60, now it's run.
So
and then he starts running, right?
Yeah,
he starts running.
But
and it was a really cool
like,
shot.
It was crazy to think that like the Black Hood was actually standing there like, shit, son, you're still around for real though. Like that
of
did
course.
that did confirm the fact that like everything is still happening and everything's
he called her. Did you not believe it when he called her on her phone?
But like to see him again, to see the green eyes, to see like everything, like when's the last time?
We knew he wasn't dead. We knew it.
That's true. I don't know. It's crazy. Did we see his eyes at the graveyard when they were like digging him as well, or no?
You know what? I don't think they focused on it as much. No,
like that's what I mean.
didn't.
This time we saw his eyes for the first time since like the first episode when like he got shot, when Fred got shot. So like to confirm that it was actually the Black Hood, I was a little shocked.
And I also noticed the way the guy ran. I was like, he's an old man. Like the way he ran after Chick, I was like, ew, you can't even run. Like you look like you're fat and old. Like
how?
It's
Cooper,
definitely how. It's definitely how.
You run like how. You run like how.
Yeah.
Cooper. Oh man, I personally still think that Tallboy is connected to the storyline.
So here's my thing. Honestly, guys, if it becomes Tallboy, I will be so upset. Just because Tallboy means nothing to anyone. Like he's not integral to the storyline. He has no connections to these characters. So I don't give a shit about Tallboy. So for him to be the murderer of this entire season,
right?
Come on, that is so cheap.
In our suspect list, we did say that he's too stupid to actually do anything, but maybe he's just like the hired hand. Do you know what I mean? Like maybe the person that's actually the killer is like a mastermind, like sitting at a table, like making the phone calls and telling people what to do. The only person that I can think of that does that is Hiram Lodge, but like I really do feel that there's like more than one. I still really feel that there's more than one person.
There has to,
game.
and I think I don't remember what episode it was, but I feel like there was an episode where it did prove that like it had to be more than one person because two things like were happening or something. I can't remember.
And like at the same time, I just really think that like even going back to Midge's murder, like I kept saying it last episode, like during the recap, like whoever actually is the Black Hood, if it is someone we actually know, then it's really brutal for someone to kill someone that way. Whereas if it was Tallboy who was hired to kill her that way, I wouldn't feel as bad because I'm like, okay, he was a psycho anyway. Like let him be the psycho. Someone else was the mastermind around like him deciding to kill Midge, but he didn't like kill Midge. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. Like someone's making the decision, but someone is actually doing the murder. So,
but
like,
I still think that guy
things.
that was chasing Chick was Hal. I still think.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I still feel like Hal is involved, but I don't know for sure.
If you look at his eyebrows and his eyes and the way his eyes slope downwards, it looks like him. Like there's no other character that it looks like. Yeah. But I do think that when they do focus on the Black Hood's eyes, I almost feel like they gave him contacts or like they add like a green tinge to it in post, like in color correction. Because I feel like they're very green, but his eyes and the way like his eyes kind of go downwards, it looks like Hal. So. Right.
I don't know. I would like that's the thing. Like you would think that at this point in time, Betty would have seen the eyes of her dad and been like, "Yep, that's what Dad. That's what Dad."
No, like there's no way.
I don't know. Anyways, so then it cuts to, so before we end that off, he does run away. We don't see him actually killing.
So that's
Chick.
the way this. Yeah. So the scene sort of ends with like just Chick just running into darkness, and
Betty's
that's how
like,
it ends.
"Goodbye, Chick." But I'm like,
what did you think? Like, do you think he's dead?
So there's a few other extra things. So before we even move to the next scene, there's a few other things. The first thing I said was like, that's pretty brutal for you to be like, go get someone else to kill my brother, who's not really my brother. Like she literally like sent him to the Black Hood. Like, and the question that I had was, what did you think about Betty deciding to let the Black Hood go? Because she basically says like, I'd rather you kill Chick than me kill you. Like, I'd rather you like.
I mean, look, whatever she's doing, she's getting into a really dark place, and like, I think wherever the Black Hood story,
I was really disappointed in her like deciding to do this.
I think wherever the Black Hood story ends is where Betty's story begins, because I think she's just gonna take that spot over. You know, I think they're gonna capture. I think they're gonna catch him. And then I think she's going to be too far gone because she's doing all these things and like they're really fucked up things. Like, you know,
this moment was really, really fucked up. For her to be like
short of her killing Chick, like this is really
she basically killed Chick. She's like partnering up with a murderer. So she's basically an accessory to a murder at this point. If he does die, like it's really like, I'm like, why is this girl going this far to do what? So because she wants the revenge against Chick, who like really didn't do that much. I don't know, like I just don't get it. I don't understand why she wouldn't have just been like, this is for Midge, motherfucker, and like shoot him. You know what I mean? Like does she forget the fact that he, like, the Black Hood literally killed people? Like I don't understand why she would have thought that would have been a good way to like end it all. She should have called the sheriff. Like I don't. Anyway, whatever.
She's too far gone though. Like, what's she gonna call Sheriff Keller for? Like, he's useless. Sheriff Keller. Speaking of, let's cut to the next. Yeah.
Speaking of, it cuts to the Keller household, and he's basically saying the same thing. He's like, maybe someone's gonna do a better job than me. If Fred gets elected, then maybe I'll have a chance to like be the part of this. If not, then I'm gonna like whatever. Yeah. Because like Kevin's trying to like calm him down from like the article. I don't understand why we keep cutting back to the sheriff place, because I totally forgot
useless.
that he was like a part of the storyline at all. Then it cuts to Veronica, and she's got this cash money sitting on the table.
Cash money.
Hermione and Hiram come back from like the Four Seasons or whatever, and they're like, where'd you get this money from? And she's like, well, you didn't do shit for Archie, but I did. And I like basically blackmailed the St. Clairs, and they gave me all this money for him. So you guys suck. And she's like, it's funny that you like, what did he say? He was like, oh, I told you that I was going to take care of the St. Clair situation. And Veronica's like, it's funny that you say that, because when I called them and asked for the ransom money, like they heard nothing about
nothing from you. Yeah.
And so she was like, so Archie's like in the study and he's pretty cheesed, so you better go talk to him. So then Hiram goes and talks to him, and they have like a little fireside chat, and Archie's basically like, he doesn't really blame him, but he says, I understand
this was like
why.
A weird dynamic too, because he doesn't blame him at all, and he's not really mad at him either, because I would be so upset at him. Like, you didn't even try to freaking save me,
right?
But instead he's like, what does he say? He
says like, I understand why you didn't do this. I need to prove myself. I haven't made my bones with you yet.
Right.
Which I don't understand. Like, he has to murder someone in order to be legit.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's like, why does that matter to Hiram Lodge? He's like, I gotta find the Black Hood. And Hiram's like, I get it. But like, why does that mean anything to Hiram Lodge? Like, why does Hiram Lodge care about the Black Hood? Like, I didn't understand that like connection and why Hiram Lodge would care so much about that.
And like, by care so much, like literally he looked like he was about to cry. Did you see his eyes?
Yeah. And he was like, don't worry, I got you. Don't worry. Anything you need, I have your back.
I'm like, damn. But what is happening?
I don't
right
get
now?
it. Yeah.
I was very confused as to why he was like getting so like emotional about him saying like, I'm gonna kill someone for you, daddy. Like, I don't get it. Unless he realizes like that could be the end game, because maybe Hiram's involved in this whole thing. Do you think that Hiram's involved at all?
I don't know.
In the murders?
I don't know.
Like, what would his thing is he always takes opportunity. He always takes opportunities in like these chaotic moments. So that's the only thing that I can think of.
Was he like maybe involved at some point in all of this, in like the carnage and the chaos? Probably. Yeah. But was he behind like all the murders and like the mass? I don't think so.
Right.
But Fair point. But you're right. Like, he's always mixed in with the drama too, and he loves chaos, right? So like, I wouldn't be surprised if he used that at some point to his advantage.
Yeah. So anyway, then it cuts to the Cooper res, and this is the final scene that we get. Alice is like, where did you go? Good. And Betty's like,
and she's just sipping on her Pinot Gris. Like, she's just like chugging down the wine. She's like, I'm done for the night,
like,
girl.
What a night.
Yeah.
So she basically says like, Chick is gone. I like took him to a bus stop. But like,
well, it was interesting because she was like, he's gone. And like, Alice is like, what? And she's like, what do you mean though? Like, and Alice is just so tired and like, she's like, just done so. She's like, he's gone. She goes, yeah, he's gone. Well, like, he's at a bus stop. I took him to a bus stop. And she's like, okay, that's good. Like, that's okay.
The question that I had at that point in time is like, why would you risk the fact that maybe he's not dead Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why did you give him a 50% chance? Give him a 10%
Yeah.
chance that he would die by the Black Hood. I didn't understand why.
I don't understand that. I don't understand why they didn't show us either. Do you know what I mean? Like, the fact that they didn't show us means like he's not dead yet.
And that leads me back to thinking that, yeah, Chick is going to come back, but like, is he going to come back with a vengeance? Is he going to come back to help? Like, what's the situation? Is he going to come back to like stop Dark Betty and help control her? Like, who knows? We'll see.
I don't know.
He needs like a purpose now, because I'm like fucking invested in this dumb.
Okay,
like,
so then back to that moment, like she's like, so then gone.
She's trailing off in the story and saying like, yeah, I sent him to the bus stop, and then Betty's starting to like look around, and then she's like noticing, she's like, where's Dad? And then Alice is like, oh, as soon as like you left, like he went to come look for you. Why do you ask?
And like the music that they had, the sounds was so chilling. I was like goosebumps. Like I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And it's like zooming in on Betty's face,
right? And
you can see she's like putting things together. She's like,
right.
What? Like he's gone at the same time that this happened. Like what the F?
Okay, so then that's the end of the episode. Before we get into our recap roundups, I need to unpack all of that whole scene. We've talked about this in the past where things get like so obvious that they're like annoyingly like the reveal. But it's interesting that you this time around think that it's like it's Hal, and like you're not caring so much that it's that reveal was like the characters are learning about it right now. Why?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Like normally you're like, oh, they're pointing to the sheriff, so it's definitely not the sheriff.
Okay, do you know what?
Like, they're pointing to Hal. It's
because you know why?
It's definitely not Hal.
We have 4 more episodes left to the season finale. So at this point, they have no more time to like fake suspect someone. Like at this point, they gotta get into gear. If she does, think that it's her dad, she's gonna have to start putting these pieces together and really like move towards that ending. Right. And that might take 4 episodes. At this point, they can't waste any more time. Like we're done. Like there's no more suspects. Like we got to get to the bottom of this. You know what I mean? So I think at that point it just felt more real because it felt like an ending was coming. Do you know?
True.
Whereas like in the mid-season finale, we know like they have a half season left to fill up with this bullshit storyline. Like he's probably not dead yet. You know?
Yeah. We actually threw out to our Twitter and asked, who do you guys think the Black Hood is? And 82% of you guys also said that it was Hal Cooper instead of Tallboy. Sheriff Keller. Hiram Lodge got 0 votes. So you guys also agree that it's Hal Cooper.
I just don't know if Tallboy is enough for me. Like even if it was him, I would be so disappointed in the writers to be like, you really like you're gonna waste this whole storyline on Tallboy? I
would only be down for Tallboy as the proxy,
like as an accomplice.
Yeah, definitely not like the reason. Like he's not actually the Black Hood. He's like the Black Hood's assassin. So that's the only reason why I put him in there. But anyway, let's get to our recap roundups. Best moment.
My best moment was the ending, right when Betty sort of on her face, you can see it. She's realizing that like her dad might be the Black Hood, or at the very least, she's like, wait, why is he missing now? And like, I just saw the Black Hood. Like I think she's piecing it together. And for me, it was like one of the best moments of the season, really, because I was getting like goosebumps like crazy. I was like, oh my God.
My best moment was FP and Alice's scene in the trailer. I thought it was really, really emotional. It was acted so well for both of them. Like even for Skeet Ulrich to like have like the eyes well up and like not really understand, but also want to be there for Alice. And like Machen like did such a good job like breaking down. And I think she even tweeted out saying like it was a really hard scene for her to like act through. And like she really was happy that Skeet Ulrich was there to like work with her on it. But yeah, I thought it was a really real emotional moment. I know that we were making fun of it and saying like, why is she like blabbering on about it? But like, I understand like if they haven't talked about it, this is the moment to talk about it. For sure. You know what I mean?
I just hope that this isn't the end of their, like, I know it's not going to be the end of their story, but I just hope that like there's more to this in the season and not just this. Do you know what I mean?
I think that we can confidently say that that's going to be the situation. I don't think that we're not going to get more phallus and more love. Yeah.
That's the ending for phallus for the season?
No, I'm saying I think that we are going to get more of that.
Oh,
we're going to see more emotion. We're going to see them come back together.
And that's what I want from that.
Yeah. Especially if Hal's like, actually the Black Hood,
Yeah.
then, like, he's gonna swoop right in, so it's all good to go.
Yeah.
WTF moment.
WTF moment, because I literally screamed out, what the actual F, was when Veronica was talking about like sleeping with Nick Sinclair. I was like, what are you doing? Like, this is the, like, not that it's the dumbest storyline, but I was just like so shocked, because I was like, is this actually gonna happen? Like,
Right.
is she actually offering her body for this like freaking bargain deal? Like, this is insane.
Yeah, it's true. My WTF moment was Betty and the Black Hood in the graveyard, because they meet eyes and they like see it, and it was really like a moment where I was like, what the F are you doing, Betty? Like, actually you're taking sides with a murderer. Like, it's crazy. And if it is actually your dad, then this is definitely genetic, and
For
you're
sure.
insane.
For
Like,
sure.
like, get out of your head. Like, you're insane. You need help.
MVP.
My MVP is gonna go to Betty.
Okay, weird.
Because I think that she still turned up, and I still think she's still trying to get to the bottom of everything, right? Like, if it wasn't for her, first of all, Chick probably would have killed Alice if it wasn't for her real talk, and killed Jughead in that kitchen. I think she's just always there. I think she's always trying to get to the bottom of these like mysteries, and at the end, I think she realizes that like, my dad could be the Black Hood.
Right.
Like, where the F is Polly? Where the F is anyone else? Like, she's the one trying to figure out these mysteries. So I think she's gonna be my MVP for forever.
Interesting take. Forever. Yeah. Relax.
Yeah.
My MVP this episode was Veronica Lodge.
I was gonna say mine was like half both of them. Yeah.
Because I think she killed it this episode.
She killed it. Yeah.
She got money.
Yeah.
She drugged somebody. She got her boyfriend back. She got money for her family. Like, damn, this girl like did it right. Like, how she did it, questionable, but she did it. So good for her.
Exactly.
LVP.
My LVP, just because I really want to say it because it's in contrast with yours. My LVP is Betty. Because I think that she kind of didn't do what I wanted her to do this episode. She lied to Jughead, which I think is one of the biggest mistakes you can ever make. She's trying to do this all by herself. She's embracing this like really weird like darkness about her. I don't think that she was the winner for me at all.
But does that surprise you at this point that she's doing all these things? Because like, I feel like this is who she is, and she's been this way all season. Like,
I don't think that it surprised. I think it did surprise me, because I was like, why can't you at this point in time? Every single time you lie to Jughead, something goes wrong. So why would you want to lie to him again to not have him a part of this conversation? That was my biggest miss for her. And also, I'm not okay with her like going in the direction that she's going. I think it's like too far. Like almost too far for a character to go. I
don't agree with the way I don't like want her to go there, but I also do want her to go there because that makes some good television, and that makes like for the writers it's fun to take a character to like that dark place. So like I do want to see her go there. Do you know what I mean? Like it's fun to watch that. Otherwise it's like boring. Like there's nothing happening. You know? So
okay, fine.
You need that a little bit. How she's gonna come back from that? That's like a whole new season. You know?
I mean, that's what I want to see. I want to see how she comes back from that situation for sure.
Yeah, but that's too soon.
Who's your LVP?
My LVP is gonna be Alice Cooper because I love her. I freaking love her. But the way she delivers news, she needs to work on that because this man was about to have a stroke. Like he was like
who worked at a news like paper,
and how we were seeing like Betty's like mom, and she's like, I'm going now. I'm like, well, where are you going? She runs to FP's trailer. She's telling him all these things, and I was like, oh my god, you're crazy, but I love you, but you're crazy.
She's lost it.
The best line.
My best line, there wasn't a lot this episode, but I just said no more secrets, no more lies, because I think that's like the big iconic thing that Alice and FP say. It's my big whole hope that Phallus is gonna come through and they're not gonna lie to each other anymore, and it's just gonna be like love from now on. That's my biggest hope. Yeah,
for sure. My best line is actually a part of, I think, Jughead's closing narration.
Yeah.
And he's like, Archie's prison was built with his own ambition and rage, and he just handed Hiram Lodge the keys.
Right.
I love the way he sort of wraps that all together. Obviously, the title of the episode. And I think and I think just like we talk about Betty, I think Archie's gonna do the same thing. Like in this whole mission of chasing this guy down, he's definitely gonna lose himself too, and in the process he's giving up himself a lot to Hiram Lodge, right? So I think we're gonna see both those main characters like go to like a really messed up place that we don't know.
We shall see. So that is the episode. That was our roundups. Before we finish up, I wanted to just read out some of the comments that you guys left us last night because it was crazy. So we got something from Postmaster Radio saying, thank goodness Nick is gone for good. Lastly, I feel like Archie at least had his heart in the right place, but this time, but is it just me, or did asking Hiram for help taking down the Black Hood at the end might lead to a dumbass moment from Archie next week?
100%, always.
That's a definitely yes.
But I don't know that like Nick St. Clair is gone for sure. We don't know that, right?
No, but I feel like it's like you said, why do we need to see him now? Like, just get out of the situation.
True, yeah.
We got Atian Hoven say, why can't Archie act smart for more than one episode? Last episode, he stood up to Hiram and chose his dad. This episode, he's back to his stupid self. I knew it was too good to last. And then a big boo emoji. We got Crafty Katie saying, who's waiting for the real chick to magically appear at the last 3 minutes of the season finale?
Totally.
We got a few more from Postmaster Radio talking about, Veronica's Nick St. Clair takedown, which was really intense. And the fact that he thinks that the Betty Cooper was so savage in this episode, especially at the end. Although, do you think that Hal knows what Betty did at all? It was just an intense episode. And then we got our girl at Glam Glitterazzi saying, Black Hood is back. Cheryl isn't a vixen. She's sly as a fox. Ronnie doesn't have to turn a trick to turn the tables. Dark Betty, no wig needed. R.I.P. Charles. Hashtag Jingle Jangle Junkie. FP, you are the father. Nick Saint. Nick Saint bitch boy. All that money still can't get you laid. Hashtag free Archie. I love fried chicken.
Amazing.
We got one from Geekazoid saying, even for Riverdale, that was an incredibly dark episode. Once again, the teens are way more efficient than the adults at uncovering the town's evil. I felt sorry for Hot Daddy Keller, but Cheryl was right. He's useless. Sorry, Kevin. And my girl Ronnie was savage. I loved it.
Yeah. I'm really curious now. Do we think that like Charles is never coming back? I'm really curious because I think
what I'm saying. I think he done. I think he done. He's
coming back.
I think he did.
You know what they say? When you don't see the death on screen or whatever, like there's always a chance.
I just think that like.
And even when you do with freaking Cheryl's dad, he still comes back in a twin form.
In twin
form.
Yeah, it's true. But like, I don't know. I just feel like at this point in time, like. He is so technically.
Yeah, I get what you're saying though. Like,
he's supposed to be older.
Where does he fit? Yeah,
like Polly at this point. So even questioning whether or not Chick is like 30 or not, like, is the real question that I have. Like, what kind of skin cream are you guys using? Anyway, that's that. And someone said at Tat Von says, where the hell was Cheryl? They used her in the promos and she literally was there for 1 minute in the entire episode and all we got was stupid Nick St. Clair. That's true.
Yeah,
those trailers be super duper
sneaky,
misleading.
Yeah, very misleading.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And letting us know what you guys thought about the episode. It was a lot of fun to recap as usual.
We got 4 more episodes left in the season. Oh my God.
This is a great moment to remind you guys that we are running a Popsocket giveaway contest and we want you guys to enter. You guys get a free Popsocket. Google that ish. It's a lot of fun to have it on your phone. It'll change your life and we're going to send it out to you for free if you guys win. So all you need to do is make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and comment on any of our videos and it's as simple as giving us a good name for Betty's black wig. And since Dark Betty's coming back, it's a perfect time to like let us know what you guys think. We're gonna give you guys a deadline because I think people work better with deadlines. We're gonna give you until May the 10th, which is the day after the episode before the season finale. So you guys have just a couple of weeks. That's not very long. That's next week and then the following week to give us your answers. We got one last week from our girl at Glam. She knows. Glam Glitterazzi, and she says, I think her wig should be named Pleasure Dome Jizzy Lizzy 69. And there's a full reasoning, but we'll read it to you guys when we pick the winner on the 10th. So
Sounds good, fam.
What you think. Send in your inquiries. And also, final thing is we are about to drop all of our amazing stuff that we got from the Mark Consuelos interview that we had last week. We're going to be dropping a few more clips here and there, and then we're going to be releasing the full podcast very soon. So make sure you guys keep an eye out for that, or an ear out for that. I hope you guys have been enjoying those little clips, and we're really excited to share the entire podcast with you.
Thanks, guys, for listening.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.